So today on fish species, we're going to talk about the Silvertip tetra, which is really right now it's becoming a really popular community fish right now. So today we're going to talk about how to care for them and why you should keep them in your community tank. So let's get right into it. So like we said, today we're going to talk about the Silvertip tetra, which has really become a really popular community fish recently, and that's mostly probably because people are really making videos, and they're really a really cool schooling fish that we'll talk about here in a little bit, and they look great in school. So let's get right into it. So I'm not sure exactly. I know I got at least a school of 8 in here. I think I did have about 14 in here, and then I transferred some into. Also, we got if you aren't subscribed, we do have another tank. There's a whole series. I just did a water change on this tank, so a little foggy over there. But we have a whole series on that tank, so if you want to subscribe and watch through it, it's a really cool to see both of these tanks, change over time. So definitely check that out. But like we were saying, Silvertip tetra. So right here, this is the fish, and you could probably already tell by the name. Maybe we can get a better shot over here. Why they're called the Silvertip tetras, and that's because their tips of their fins are literally silver, and they're probably the coolest when they're schooling, because it's just, I don't know, something about the shining tips. It just looks so cool when they're schooling, especially under the right lighting. And so they're more of a golden, I would say like a brown to golden color on their body, and you can see they have the black coloration going down their tail. And then obviously they spread out to the more clear fins with the silver tips, which looks really unique, and why I think this has became more popular these days. So these fish, they come from streams and rivers of Brazil, which is in South America. They come from rivers and all that streams, and they get about 1.5, 2 inches. Mine are getting pretty large. They're probably almost at that 2-inch mark, but don't expect them to get that much bigger. So tank wise, I would say it all depends on your stock, but at minimum 10 gallons. That's if you had, maybe a school of Silvertip tetras and maybe some like shrimp or something, and maybe one centerpiece fish, like something like that. But really, in my opinion, I would say at least 20 or bigger. Like this tank right here is about a 40-gallon. Obviously, we got an assortment of other really good community fish, and that's another thing. This fish is pretty much overall peaceful. Occasionally they can get a little bit of fin nippy, so I'd watch out for that, but nothing serious. I mean, most of the time it's with each other, not with other fish, but at least that's what I've seen. So definitely you could talk to other people if you're concerned about that, but for the most part they seem to be just doing just fine. I don't think you're gonna have to worry about it, but they're peaceful, and they do well. They do as well as any tetras, any community tank. I actually have a pro Gourami. Actually, he's always hiding. See, he's right there. That's perfectly fine. I mean, the Gourami's probably more scared of it than it is the Gourami. So care wise, I'm not gonna make this video 20 minutes long, but because really there's not necessary. They're so easy to keep. They're pretty much no different than any tetra. Like I said, they only get 1.5 to 2 inches. Nothing special for feeding. What else do we need? They do like a little bit of soft water, so if you're on the little bit of hard side, it's doable. But what I've seen is sometimes you don't get their best coloration, and if you are trying to breed them, that could take a big play in that. So I would, if you're concerned about or wanting to do that type of stuff, yeah, you definitely want to try to get your water a little softer. But other than that, pH. I mean, I know some people care, but if you're a beginner and unless you're breeding these things, they can pretty much handle anything. They're really hardy fish. I actually had these fish for, I don't know, maybe about 6 months now. So they weren't the first fish. This tank's been set up for almost 5 years now. So I I can't really test and say myself if they're very hardy, but as I've seen around what everybody else has been saying, I can trust that they are really hardy, and definitely could be a potential first fish you could put in your tank. I wouldn't quote me on that, but I think I can confirm that, seeing, keeping them for a while. Um, so schooling wise, they do school. Obviously, after a while, when they feel safe, well, and this goes for really every schooling fish, they kind of start spreading out, and you can see none of these fish school in this tank. I mean, they might all school together. You get your finger in there, they might all they'll all follow your finger, and so you're gonna want maybe about six or more. Really, when I say a school, if you want a true school, I would say a dozen or more. So if you definitely have the size, if you have the space for them, definitely get a dozen or more, which is 12, and that's when it'll really look cool. And the one thing about this is the more of these you get, it gets really cool because they're actually really active. Putting your finger in the tank, they're always the first fish to interact with you. Even if you just walk by the tank, they're always following you. So they're really social fish. So it's really cool to have a big school of these. And I think Aquarium Co-op actually did. He has a really good visual of that on his channel. But as you can see, they all kind of gather together. So they're kind of more, definitely if you have children and stuff, they're really fun. But my light just went off. Perfect timing because the video is about to end. But so yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, it's the simplest fish that's out there. I mean, there's nothing to it. There's nothing special. It's not like my puffers. There's not insane stuff we have to do to it. It's a tetra. I mean, there's nothing more to it. But if you guys have questions, definitely let me know. If you guys want to see any special videos that you want me to teach you about, definitely let me know. I'm always open to ideas because most of the time I kind of have to. It's hard making videos these days because there's not much to film around here. But other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys the next time.